Hello, everyone. This is Ben Dunn, founder of Anarchic Press, a comic book publishing company founded in 1985, still doing comics even today. I'm also the creator of Ninja High School, Warrior Nun, and Mighty Tiny, Science is Magic, all sorts of comics, and the Marvel Mangaverse, among other things. You can Google it, you'll find stuff. So there seems to be a lot of doom and gloom about the comic industry. Well, yeah, things are not great, to give you that, but ask yourself, why is that? Why is the comic industry so pessimistic these days? You know, I think its decline is in the word industry. When you say the word, when you combine the terms comics and use the term comic industry, what do you mean by that? What does the comic industry actually mean? Well, industry implies that you're manufacturing something, and that you're producing product that people will buy. Now, comics a product? Well, yeah, on a technical level, it is. It's a product. It's something you produce, you get out, you sell, and then you produce the next thing. It's just like in car manufacturing. Every year they change the design, change the car. People's taste change, So the car industry is called an industry because they're producing a product. But, comics are a little different, it's a little different animal, so to speak, because it's an art form as well. It's not just a product in it so much, it's also an art form. It takes creativity to create comics. You to write it, to draw it, to color it, publish it, then you get it out. It all comes from up here, the human mind. And until AI takes over, it still have to have a human touch to it. So I would contend to say that the comic industry may be in decline, but comics are not in decline. People love comics. Comics are great. The art form is healthy, in my opinion. The beauty of comics is that anybody can do it. Anybody would, even if you don't think you have drawing talent, you can still produce a comic. Get a piece of paper, get a pencil, start drawing. Behold, a comic. It's just so simple an act creatively wise is that, even the smallest child can do it to the oldest adult. It runs the gamut, so to speak. So I would think, why is the comic industry in decline? I mean, manga seems to be doing well. Do you count that as part of the comic industry? Well, I guess technically yes. So in that instance, it's doing quite well. Scholastic does well with their Dogman comics, and they are comics. They're doing well with other properties, Captain Underpants, things like that, because they know their audience. And see, that's the key. They know their audience. The reason I think, of course you can disagree with me, would love to read your comments on it, is that they're not producing product people want. Simple as that. People have when they want to spend money on entertainment, especially comics, it's priced to the point where they have to actually think about what they're buying. Am I getting my money's worth when I'm buying this comic? Am I going to be entertained enough that it justifies the expenditure? It's hard to say. It seems to be doing well with manga. Manga seems to be doing okay. Doing well with Dogman and such. That seems to be doing. Maybe what we really mean by the comic industry in decline is that it's the comic book superhero genre that's in decline. And why is that? Why is that genre in decline? Because it seems to be all to end all as far as people's perception of comics are. That it's dominated by superheroes. So when you are on a destructive path as far as superhero comics are concerned, then eventually it's going to come back to haunt you, come back and bite you. That's just how things go. It's a circle of life, as they say. So my suggestion is that if you want a healthy comic industry, you have to produce product people will buy. People will want to read. I know that's difficult to say what it is that exactly what they want, but it's very simple. Entertain them. Give them a reason to come to the comic store, and buy your product. And I am glad to see that the independent comic scene is growing, thriving. I'm not sure if it's at the expense of Marvel and DC, but I think people are getting to the point now that Marvel and DC are no longer the big dogs on campus. A lot of little tiny dogs are nipping at their heels, trying to prove themselves. And that's great because a prime motivator, for success in comics is, trying to compete. Make your product better than the other guy's product. So that's just my thought on how things are in the comic industry. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe, press like, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate your thumbs up. If you leave a comment, I will read it. I promise I read it. I may not always reply back to you, but I'm not really good at that, to be honest. But I do read your comments, and I do take them wholeheartedly and sincerely. So until next time, this has been Dunn, signing off.